A jsme doma.
Hey guys, how are you all doing today? It's only Dust left, or Dust for short, and I am doing like a third commentary in a row, and I have a really dry mouth. But I think I'll manage to do this one. Anyway, what I was gonna talk about today is, I guess I call it some kind of a topic like story time or something like that. It's basically a kind of, I guess I could do a series about it. Stories, various stories and experiences from my life,
To vůbec
which
nezní jako já.
I don't know, scary, funny, embarrassing, you name it, whatever. And today's story is about me and a couple of my friends going, going into the woods and playing airsoft. And if you don't know what airsoft is, you have basically these plasticky kind of guns which are powered by air or
2008, jo?
or some of them even by
Tak
CO2
to už je hodně starý.
or
To už je hodně starý.
some other type of gas. And they shoot like these small yellow spherical BBs. I think you all know what airsoft is. Anyway, so we decided, as stupid as we were, to play airsoft, on cemetery. It was a Jewish cemetery. Now that I come to think of
Já
it.
tady mám 2011 u sebe.
And anyway,
tak je to dost starý.
we just left all of our IDs back at my friend's house because it was like a mile away from the cemetery, and we just went there, pulled out our guns, and started shooting at each other with these plastic airsoft replicas of guns. And the reason while I'm saying that these are replicas and plasticky and all of that is because that about 15 or it was more, I guess, about 30 minutes into the game, we basically we got
byl nějaký starý hřbitov, který se ani neprovozoval.
cornered by, I guess, cornered by police.
Tehdy jsme byli mladí a
Because
nerozvážní.
we were on this cemetery happily shooting at each other, and all of a sudden from both entrances to the cemetery, or I guess there was this road that went by the cemetery, and from both sides of this road, from one side kind of SUAV, and from other side, the usual, your run-of-the-mill car, police cars. Those were both police cars. They just
Police cars?
drove in,
Received pronunciation.
halted, got out of the cars, and pulled out their guns, which were not replicas, which were not in any way plastic, unless they were Glocks, which are almost only made of plastic. Never mind. They pulled out their guns, and they got out this megaphone, and they started shouting at us, and so we were like, what just happened?
Tomu bych se
What's
ani
happening?
nedivil, Vyšelka.
And they shouted at us. We didn't properly understand what they were saying. We just saw them, their guns. So we basically, what we did was we run towards them with our airsoft guns, and that's probably the worst thing we could have done, because at that moment they aimed down the sides, they aimed at us, and they were shouting like, drop it, drop the gun. And we were like, what was happening? Because we were like 15, and we were like, what is happening? So we immediately we 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 threw away the airsoft guns. You know, we put our hands up because we didn't
Já
know
jsem byl vždycky ukecanej, Korhel.
what should we do.
Já než se nedostanu nějaký příběh, tak...
I was really scared at the moment. And, you know, they were still shouting at us, like, you know, on the ground. And I think they were kind of enjoying it. I think on some level they knew, of course they knew that those weren't real guns. Those were just, you know, replicas or airsoft guns or whatever. And, you know, they just were shouting at us, you know, get on the ground, spread your legs, spread your hands, you know, spread whatever you've got to spread. And you know, we were scared. We were on the ground with your face in the mud. Well, that wasn't really mud, but anyway, your face, you know, just stuck in the ground. You were not moving. You were crying. Oh, I wasn't crying. No, I wasn't crying. That never happens. Never happened before. Anyway, and you know, after that, they went for the guns. The policemen went for the guns.
Z toho trošku bolej uši.
And for of course, for our airsoft guns that we threw away before, they looked at them. They saw they were just airsoft guns, and they were like, okay. And then they probably didn't have enough of action for the day. They told us that, like, you know, half an hour before they, you know, got the report on us. There was this group of guys who damaged some cemetery, like, you know,
vás nejdřív požádali, ať
dozens
odhodíte vaši zbraň.
Away. Oh, it wasn't dozens, like 4, maybe 3 miles away from where we were on the cemetery. And so then, you know, they kind of accused us of doing the same thing here. And we were like, no, we were just, you know, playing with airsoft guns. And they, okay, we have to check this. So they took like another half an hour checking the cemetery, if, you know, for some, I guess, damage that could have been looked at as, you know, done recently. And so they didn't find anything, of course, because we didn't destroy anything. And they told us, like, you know, that they have to take, you know, our names and addresses and, you know, school where we go to. And we were really scared because we didn't really want to know anyone, or maybe parents wouldn't be so bad, but we didn't want to know, we wouldn't want the school to know about this incident. And so we were like really scared, and we said okay. And another thing is, I probably should have mentioned earlier, in this country we get our IDs when we are 15 years old, and from this point on we are responsible for things we do. Like, you know, until you're 15, you're not responsible, for example, for, I don't know, damaging a neighbor's window. You know, that just all goes back to your parents. But from the time you turn 15, you are responsible for this kind of stuff. And so, of course, we didn't have our IDs because we had left them at our friend's house. So we all said, okay, we don't have them. We left them at our friend's house, and they said, okay, well, you shouldn't do that. You should have them all the time on you. And we said, like, we know, but, you know, we were just out for an hour and we thought it would be okay. Blah, blah, blah. And they were like, okay then. And also one of my friends, when they asked us how old we are, he said that he was 14, so that he wouldn't get into any problems, you know, concerning the fact that he didn't have his ID too, because he left it at his house. And they were like, okay, you're not 15. That's good for you, I guess. And
Toto
then
biscuit byl taková
when
trošku
we
moje
were
inspirace na videa na
telling them
YouTube. Jak jsem
our
tak nějak jako formoval svůj kanál a kam jsem s ním mířil.
date of your birth and
To byly
names
časy.
and these kind of things you usually tell police when you get arrested, as you probably don't. But you know, anyway, he told them that his year of birth, I'm just gonna tell something. It's like 1990, and at that moment it kind of occurred to the police men who were trying to get this information out of my friend. It occurred to him that he wasn't 14. So, but they were kind of cool after that. They said, okay, you're young. You just I guess
Young,
do these
dumb,
things
and
when
full
you're
of-
young, and be careful next time. Find some warehouse when you can play airsoft, and it just all turned out good basically in the end. But that's just something, some little story of mine when I
No
how
ale
I
v tom
almost got
příběhu
shot
mi
by
bylo
the
15.
police, and I will hope I will never have to tell another story like this, because I don't wanna get shot by the police. Anyway, thanks for listening. I'll see you some other time. Goodbye.
To bylo krásný, ne? Jak jsem to vyprávěl, tak to mi bylo akorát 15.